Well, hi everyone. I'm John Redlund with my review of WWE NXT, and Vince McMahon's brain parasites have gotten into NXT, have infiltrated it, and if this is what NXT is going to be for 2 hours every single Wednesday from now on, we are in trouble. The 2-hour format has exposed some issues in NXT. They've signed so many indie talents. They've signed so many stars, now they have no stars, and people are getting lost in the shuffle. And this was a very lazy episode. It was bookended by tag title matches, and the show wasn't total shit. It just was very, very lazy, and I just wasn't feeling this episode. You had Imperium versus Breezango, NXT tag title match, and it just wasn't very good. Nobody bought Breezango as contenders. All of these guys are talented. There is no doubt about that. Breezango, despite their cosplay, silliness, are talented wrestlers, but they weren't believable as challengers. And even though they got a couple near falls, you had Bivens' group show up. Malcolm Bivens, by the way, this is the big deal that everybody was touting. This guy, I don't fucking get it. Is there stuff I should watch of his that maybe would sell me on him more? Because what I've seen of him, I'm like, I don't buy into this guy at all. He has something share. I don't actually remember their goddamn names. I don't really care. They aren't bad, but I haven't been given a reason to be invested in them. They run in, Lorcan and Birch run in, and then we get a DDT. Fandango gets pinned 1, 2, 3. That's your lot. That's how you're helping your tag team division, by having everybody Human Centipede together in one goddamn segment. A Dream interview. He says to Loomis, who drew him a picture, he gave you art, Dream, says the Dream is a solo act. They're going to be unlikely tag team champions by the end of the summer, I bet. End of the summer or end of the fall. We then get Damian Priest showing up in the car, and Grimes is in the background. Gee, I wonder what's going to happen to the car. We find out later. Priest versus Dane. Killian Dane is just suddenly back up. Damian Priest is going to be a babyface, and while Priest got his back focused on, Dane lost with To the Reckoning 1, 2, 3. I didn't really care much for this episode, so it's probably going to be one of the shortest reviews I do. So, a video package about the former Phantasma, now Escobar, and he's got his guys and everything. He's like, we will make history. Good luck with that, because Vince McMahon doesn't have the best track record pushing a lot of foreign talents. I mean, he's pushed, some have been pushed in spite of how, in spite of him being in charge of the company. But anyway, Killian Dane then spooks Robert Stone, who's drunk because he's so upset that he lost Chelsea Green as his client. Nothing against Chelsea Green, who's actually talented, but it's not like they were together forever. They were together, 5-6 weeks? She wins with Charlotte and then leaves. And now he's suddenly a drunk because there's no other women he can get to join him. Yes, Rhea Ripley beat the shit out of him at one point, which we all would like to have her do, but I digress. Not going to kink shame here if you feel the same way. But why in the world are they doing this stuff with the drunkenness? Is it supposed to be funny? Because it's not. Xia Li versus Aaliyah. Aaliyah gets Robert Stone to get in her corner and everything, and he's all drunk and everything and stuff like this, and Aaliyah says, you ain't nothing. Aaliyah, who has, a bunch of wins in NXT, the residential NXT jobber. It's not that she's bad, she's just always going to be stuck in NXT. And then they did a fucking puke spot. They did a puke spot where he puked in the ring. Xia Li got, horrified and got rolled up 1, 2, it got botched, and then just stayed down for another roll up 1, 2, 3. This was not good. This was really, really, really fucking bad. And the puke spot stuff screams Vince, or Road Dogg, or somebody really fucking stupid. And Road Dogg qualifies as somebody stupid, so I'm going to blame him. I don't know who the fuck actually did come up with this, but I'm just going to blame somebody, because this was really fucking bad. This was stupid bullshit that did not need to happen in a match. Sure, it's a women's match that we've seen before, but this is how you're going to treat your women? Fucking hell, no wonder, a lot of the feuds don't really feel like they have anything. And then we get Timothy Thatcher's catch-can style wrestling. He shows Fujiwara armbar and a whole bunch of stuff, and we get going with that. We then get the Undisputed Therapy. I believe we get, somebody in a red beard. Mr. O'Reilly, perhaps, is a therapist. We get that. Or somebody that looks a lot like O'Reilly. Who knows? They could be twins. We don't have a goddamn clue. And we get ink blots, and Roddy keeps seeing Loomis and is scared of trunks and then runs away from getting locked in the trunk. As you would. Well, this made them look like goofs. Made them not look like, anything really. It didn't add personality to them. It just made me think, okay, this is what we're doing with them. Okay, cool, whatever. Cole and Lee and Hourglass. Lee says, I'm going to take your title from you, and smashes the Hourglass. Okay, there's your lot right there. Here's Adam Cole, baby. Talks being the champion, and Says Killian Cross at one point, but whatever, we all botch stuff. He covers. Adam Cole's one of the best goddamn promos that WWE has going, and talks about, being champion. And hey, Lee, how about we have a champ versus champ match? Here's Keith Lee, and then here's Gargano. And he says Candice and I will be the first married couple to be NXT and, NXT men's and women's champions simultaneously. Good luck with that. Good fucking luck with that. And then Lee says, well, it's like, you didn't care about Candice or whatever. You know what she said to me? Thank you, Mr. Limitless. That's the most satisfaction and most action I've had all year. That was funny. Here's Balor. He does not wait in line. He comes to the front. And I know who's going to react to that. I know who's going to react to that. But that's what he does. He comes right to the front. He comes right at anybody. He comes right at whoever he wants to come to. I'm going to make this as uncomfortable as possible. Gargano versus Balor versus Lee in a three-way match next week. Whoever wins the North American Championship, or in the case of Lee, he would retain it. Then faces Cole on July 8th. And whoever wins, winner takes all. So whoever wins becomes a double champion. Maybe it's Lee. I have no goddamn idea who the hell's going to win. Then Lee is being confronted by Candice, and then her and Yim brawl because they are destined to feud forever. Dakota Kai with Raquel Gonzalez versus Caden Carter and Casey Catanzaro. Well, both in the corner. And it was fine. Caden and Dakota worked a decent match. It was a short match. Casey tried to jump at Gonzalez. That was adorable. She got thrown onto the apron. And then Kai Lock, I don't actually know what the fuck you call it. I know Naomi's used it, and Dakota's uses it also. And I've seen in other matches, but it's a cool finisher. Dakota using it. It was awesome. I liked it. It was good stuff. And then Scarlett and Cross see the broken hourglass. They are mad. They're going to come after Keith Lee. So more than likely, Cross is going to attack Keith Lee next week. And then there we go with that. Mercedes Martinez vignette. She's coming soon. Gross. No, kidding. Not gross. I probably shouldn't have phrased it that way. Good on Mercedes Martinez. She's being featured in NXT. She's definitely earned it. Being part of, being on the indies for so many years. Then we get Bronson Lee versus Leon Ruff, and it's done. Squash splash. And Reed says, I want Karrion Kross next week. And then Priest's tires are cut. Grimes says, oh yeah, you want me to call you an Uber? That's what all Hicks do, I guess, is they slash tires. And then we get Phantasma, Wild, and Mendoza, or Escobar, Mendoza, and Wild, and he's going to make them leaders. This guy that is probably going to be a perennial NXT, mid-card guy, and probably a WWE mid-card guy. I mean, I'm not saying the guy isn't talented. I'm not saying Wild isn't talented. I'm not saying Mendoza isn't talented. But I do not buy for a second that Vince McMahon would push this guy. I know Vince ain't going to control WWE forever. I just cannot buy that Vince McMahon is going to see this guy as being... It's like, oh, It'll be featured like Andrade or Angel Garza and stuff like that for a little bit, and then it'll just start losing a whole bunch, and that'll be it. Maybe I'm wrong. Who knows? He might actually do something. Drake then shows up and says, I got more guts than brains, and tries to attack him, gets laid out with Phantom Driver through a table. Drake got signed to a new contract, and now hopefully he has a good downside guarantee because he got taken to a local medical facility. That's how they announce it. Just say hospital, Vince, you fucking idiot. I just didn't I don't buy this trio. I'm sorry, I don't. I'm glad they're doing something different, but you know what? The whole kidnapping thing was really fucking stupid. It was really fucking stupid. Like, really monumentally stupid. Reed versus Cross, Priest versus Grimes, Lee, Balor, and Gargano next week. I don't know what they're doing for the women. Hopefully something along the lines of what happened at the end of this match. It's Shotzi and Tegan versus Sasha and Bayley, Women's Tag Team Championship match. It was fine. It was fine. There was no way that Tegan and Shotzi were going to win. And there was some lie, cheating, and stealing, stuff like that, where a chair, oh no, Tegan's going to use the chair, Bayley says, and then she flips Shotzi over, and Sasha tops Shotzi, for those of you that are into that, and gets the bank statement. And then Io comes out and shows, oh yeah, by the way, this is no longer your NXT. Okay, cool, that's your lot. Wasn't much of a show. I'm not saying it was bad, and I'm glad the women got to main event, but the women always tend to main event really shitty shows. Except in the case of NXT TakeOver in Your House. They did have to follow a shitty match, or at least, kind of try to get everybody back into it after that Velveteen Dream Cole match, but I digress. I just wasn't feeling this episode. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Ritlin. I'll see you soon.